All right, everyone, we've got a bombshell scandal here, actually, but we're not 100% sure that it's true. Right now, Desantis' campaign is hemorrhaging staffers. They're firing a bunch of people. And so a disgruntled former staffer could be making this up. That's number one. Number two, we're not sure the source, and the original report comes from the New York Times. Well, they're not really fans of Desantis any more than they are for Trump, so grain of salt mode activated. I can't vouch for the fact that this claim is true, although it's plausible, and if true, it's nuts, actually. It's kind of bizarre. The Desantis campaign is going through a reboot right now. Mixing it up a little bit. We're retooling, we're recalibrating our campaign. That's how you know that the gig is up, because unless you're in first place and leading comfortably and you're doing it just to save money, so you can embezzle some later if you don't win the general or something, you don't retool the campaign. Show me, please, in recent political history, how many campaigns after reshuffling the deck or streamlining or all of these other buzz terms have actually been successful. Not many of them. More often than not, it's the sign that the campaign has dysfunction and has begun to fall apart. So, that's number one. DeSantis' campaign is being streamlined. We're becoming a leaner, meaner, more stealthy machine. Like, we've turned from a bear into an ocelot or something like that. It's again, the sloganeering is propaganda. According to this new report, though, you remember that Trump LGBTQ ad that insinuated that Donald Trump, by virtue of having not had a problem with gay marriage or stuff like that, all of a sudden is like on the far left end of the spectrum and wants drag queen story hour? Pro tip, he doesn't. The insinuation is Donald Trump wants drag queens to abuse your kids, basically. That was the messaging of the ad. And it didn't go over well. It got massively ratioed. It got panned by liberals. It got panned by conservative groups. It got panned certainly by Trump fans. And even questioned as far as the strategic goal and optics, even by DeSantis fans. There were some that circled wagons. I saw several of them saying, well, look, Ron, this ain't the look. And so the DeSantis campaign effectively replied, oh, it's fan-made video. Then it gets taken down. It's now being alleged by a source familiar with the matter. Again, there's a reason why I'm taking the story with a grain of salt until we have further verification or an admission by the DeSantis camp, as he should issue, should that be the case, because if you get caught out and you haven't admit to it and just throw a staffer under the bus or something, that's going to hurt you even more. This massively ratioed, deeply unlovable ad that is an example of how not to make a political ad, judging by the response, that's self-evident, appears to have been made by the DeSantis campaign itself. So it was not a grassroots video, as was claimed by many. The idea was that it was fan run, and so it's not our fault. We can't control what other people do. A political action group funded it. We can't coordinate with them. Turns out that may not be the case, and the third party was actually taking material from the DeSantis camp itself. Again, we don't have proof. We have a claim by someone who supposedly is familiar with the matter. Under 20 years ago, I would have assumed, okay, the New York Times got contacted by a DeSantis staffer. These days, it could just be made up out of thin air, or a staffer could be the source, but they're full of shit. So I will hold off on full judgment there. Now, that doesn't exonerate the campaign at this time of falling apart, which it is. It certainly doesn't help with the fact that the ad was deeply unhelpful for his campaign. Again, there were even people that they're pro-DeSantis. They want him to win, and they're like, well, you're not going to win if you make a mistake like this. This is not the way to attack Donald Trump. It doesn't make any optical sense. It was strategically a bad idea, and now it looks like it might have come from someone within the campaign itself. It did look more like the kind of ad that would be made by the campaign itself than by some third party. I mean, the ad, as far as like the editing and shit like that went, it looked kind of like the past ads that the DeSantis campaign has made anyway. Stylistically, it was very similar. That was a little bit weird. And now there might be a reason for the fact that there was that similarity, I suppose. But oh boy, DeSantis, you got to come out and throw a staffer under the bus or something really, really quick and respond to this as opposed to ignoring it. I'm watching a man who at one point I said would be a top contender for a 2028 election and would be perfectly viable even in this one, although I supported the other guy. He has quickly gone from, I would tolerate him maybe, to probably not, unless Trump keels or something, to I don't know if I could vote for him even if he won in a fair primary. He's not ready for prime time. I hate to use the old jaded term that DeSantis fans get so triggered by, but he really should have waited. He had the admiration of an enormous number of people that now fucking hate him or think that he's inept. I happen to fall mainly into the latter category. I mean, many of his policies are the same as Trump's anyway. They did get along for a while. Trump has lashed out at him. He fired the first shot, full admission, he did. War on Disney aside, though, which I support Ron instead of Don on, actually, he's just making too many mistakes. You put him before a well-oiled DNC machine like Biden's, or Biden isn't the nominee and it's Gavin Newsom or, God help us, Whitmer or something like that, I don't think that he would win. And I look at the matchup polling and it reflects by and large in the aggregates that concept. Ron DeSantis does not fare as well as Donald Trump against Biden or Kamala Harris. Now, of course, again, there are others that might run, assuming that Biden, gets 25th or something. Off chance that happens. If either Ron DeSantis doesn't control his staff properly and bloated it up so that there were too many, couldn't keep tabs on what they were doing, and this was posted totally unauthorized, which is inept, or he knew about it, he gave it his blessing, and the DeSantis campaign tried to hoodwink the voting public by going a bit below the belt in a rather bizarre way in an ad that no reasonable person would have thought would have helped the campaign. I can't understand why the ad was even made. It doesn't make sense. The messaging, basically all you're doing is you're pandering to a small element of moralistic far-righters by claiming that Trump of all people, remember that people have been told he's also a fascist, by pretending that Trump wants drag queen story hour and stuff to try to get people riled up. Did it work? Did the ad boost your approval? Did it take down Trump's approval? No. The proof is in the fucking pudding. That's about all. Peace out.